Chuck here with another opinion piece on a section within the CTSC exams as you and I are preparing here. And, I got to tell you, I'm probably getting third to a halfway through creating these videos here. And Richard Feynman was correct. Speaking to these, teaching these in a as simplistic a way as you can definitely helps force you and I to make sure we know what we're talking about. So however you do it, I'd consider practicing by speaking out loud on these things, whether you teach or not, but as if you're teaching a class. And it's amazing how much it kind of locks in for us. So hopefully this is helping you too by participating in these conversations here. So the section I want to look at is prioritizing initiatives. And really what we're looking at here is different ways I can look at in terms of figuring out what should I work on first, second, third, or fourth. And there's a number of ways we can look at it. It's important, I think, for you and I to recognize it's not going to be straight ROI or always this or always that. It's going to be very contextual in terms of what's going on at our company and the transformation efforts. So let me read you some of the ones that I highlighted here, and certainly love to get your thoughts as we go through it here. One of them is consider getting teams early experience with easier process change before getting to more complex ones. So how do we help people get their feet wet, so to speak, and take on some simple changes, iron out the process, feeling more confident and ready to take on those more complex projects? So that could certainly be one aspect we would consider. Another way would be looking at dependencies and required sequences. So we'd like to do this one here first, but to do this, we have to do this. And to do this one, we have to do this one first. And so by identifying what those sequences are, that can help give clarity to what we got to work on first, second, third, or fourth. Another way, it's not so much a priority, but another way we can look at this is, these projects they can't harm ourselves. They shouldn't harm ourselves either. So they shouldn't undermine each other. If I'm doing my project, it's going to blow up your project or something. We don't want that to happen. We don't want to do projects that are going to build duplicate capabilities. I mean, it might be we have to perhaps because of the type of industry and it requires redundant processes, but typically not for many of us. So we don't want to do projects that build duplicate capabilities. We don't want to do them in standalone also. I mean, we're going to do the project for that, but we always want to make sure as part of our project, we're connecting and making everybody, not making, but helping everybody else understand that we're doing this project piece here, but it's going to help us here. It's going to help us back here. It's going to help us up here. So it fits in the context of the whole thing. And we don't want to cherry pick projects. We want to have this conversation of what we're going to work on first, second, third, and fourth, and so on, because we don't want to say, oh, I'll do that one, then I can cut the budget here, and I'll do this one because it'll help me here right now. And we don't want to. There's got to be reasoning behind what we're doing. So no cherry picking allowed. Another way we can look at it: what gets us quick wins? What can we implement as something tactical? Tactical meaning closer to day-to-day, like operational. It's not the same as operational, but it's more tactical than theoretical, strategic, long-term. And we're looking for something people can connect to right away. We also may consider a priority that builds alliances and builds trust for people too. So let's do something small together on the project. So it's like, okay, I understand where you're coming from and I've got confidence in what you're doing because I see how it's going to help me. I see how I can, participate and support you and how important it is. Okay. The section also talks about, as part of this whole conversation, defining to-be state metrics and analyze as-is performance in detail. Now, we really kind of covered that earlier. There really wasn't a full section on it in here, but it was stated a bit here. But we have to remember back, we saw some sentences and paragraphs on that perspective of measuring today against not how well we're doing today, but measuring today against those metrics that we want to be measured against here, so we can see, yes, this is where we want to be. Yes, this is where we're today, but where we're at today isn't getting us here. So it gives us a real true evaluation of where we are, and then we can start developing a true evaluation of where we need to be and what are those steps to get there. So it does seem to make critical and complete sense that we would want to define how we are today against where we need to be, so we can see what that path has to be to move ourselves in that direction.